Yeah, hi guys. Just finishing my day off here in the UK. It is 8:20, so a long day. Just wanted to do a short video on our pricing and how we get to our prices. Can we negotiate on prices, which is a question that comes up a lot, especially today. I had a few of the sales guys on the phone today basically saying, Mike, I've got a client interested in this property and they really want to buy it, but can we get them $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 off? And so I just wanted to cover that because I've got different opinions on the way not just properties but anything is priced in general. And I think it's like anything. If there's high demand for a product, prices can go up. If there's a lot of inventory and there's a lot of supply, then of course you would think you can negotiate with a seller or a company that is selling a car or a house or whatever it is. But like I said on a video I think last week on the prices in Cleveland, it's me that negotiates with the sellers, and the sellers are not easy to deal with. And so, I do the best I can I know the area, know the location, the condition of the property, the rent, what he's asking for the property, we get him down. So what I like to think is that we negotiate hard with the sellers and really push them on their prices on the basis that we're going to sell the property quickly. We're going to sell it quickly, we're going to close quickly. I've got cash buyers, so they say, okay Mike, he wants, 85, and we end up getting him down to $75,000. So we push the property out at the $75,000, which is what we've negotiated with the seller, what I've negotiated with the seller. So I'm giving you the best price on the property, the negotiated price on the property. So we've kind of been through that step, if you can understand where I'm coming from. So I've done that part of the process with the seller before we send the property out. And the seller also knows that at that price and at that return, like the average property on our website would last, I would say, anything from 1 hour to maybe 3 or 4 days maximum before the property is sold. So if a client is asking for a discount, can we push the sellers a little bit more? Maybe sometimes we can. It depends on the seller. Some of the sellers are harder than others. So I think, and the other thing that I think as well, I think as a consumer, if I went into a garage, let's say a second-hand car garage, and I wanted to buy a car, and I say to the guy, what's the best price you can give me on this car? And he tells me, okay Mike, you can have it for £35,000 or $35,000. And I say, okay, well I'm going to go away and I'm going to think about it for a while, and I'm going to go and check into the garage. Oh, hang on a second, Mike, I might be able to do it for $30,000, $31,000. To me, I don't think that's a lot of credibility as a company, because I asked you 20 minutes ago what the best price is for that car, and you told me it was $35,000. All of a sudden now I'm walking away, and 10 minutes later you can do it for 31. So why didn't you 10 minutes ago say, Mike, actually we can do it for 31,000, but that's the best price, we can't do anything less than that? So I think that doesn't make me feel comfortable as a buyer. So as a company, we have not a policy, but we like to think that we negotiate well with the sellers. We've got the best priced product on the market, but the market in Cleveland and Detroit to get a good house, it's in a good location, good condition, good price, good rent. It's not easy. and we do really well getting the prices down as well. So now, what I would suggest, and what I said to a few of the guys today, is when you're speaking to a client, or if I'm speaking to one of you guys, if you say to me, because it's kind of like on a property by property basis. So if you said to me, Mike, we like this property on Jeffreys Avenue in Cleveland, do you think there's a chance the seller might come down a little bit more? I could probably tell you straight away, maybe we could do something 1,000 or 2,000, but I need to check with the seller first of all. And I'd go back to him and I'd say, Chase, listen, I've got a really good client in Belgium, wants to buy the house, but he's wondering whether we can knock another 1,000 or 2,000 off. I know we've already negotiated last week on the property, but what can we do? He might say yes, he might say no. But then there's other sellers that I know for a fact would just say no, so it's pointless, the conversation's pointless. And especially if I've negotiated hard with them last week on getting the price right down, and I've told them I'm going to sell it quickly, for me to go back and say, actually Chase, I've got a buyer here and he wants a couple of $1,000s off. He's going to say, well, hang on a second, Mike, you told me last week if I do it for 75,000, you're going to sell it quickly and you're going to have a buyer for me straight away. So that's the situation. So the properties that we send out, we've already negotiated. We've been through that process, and I just wanted to get that point across, and not think, that we're not trying our best for our clients. We've done the best when we negotiate in the first place. And the other thing is as well, the sellers that I've been working with, certainly in Cleveland and Detroit, I've been working with the same sellers for 11 years now, and Cleveland 5 years, the same sellers, 4 or 5 sellers in each city. And I would like to think that we've got the best product on the market, and at the best prices, undervalued, instant equity. So they know for a fact, if I give Mike this property at $75,000 with a 18% return, it's in South Collingwood in Cleveland, it's a good location, he's gonna sell it. Like, whether it takes an hour or whether it takes a week, it's gonna get sold. So they don't need to come down in price. So I just wanted to cover that this morning, because a few of the sales guys were calling me yesterday and saying, Mike, I've got a client and he's very interested, but he wants, I think one was $7,000 or $8,000 off. It's not possible. I think the best thing to do, whether you're speaking to myself or whether you're speaking to Scott or Barry or Ian, Marcella, Gökhan in Turkey, just tell them, listen, I am interested in this one. Could you speak to Mike and maybe see if there is anything we can do? If there's not, great, I'm still happy to go ahead. I still like the property, and play it like that, But again, I don't like any company who it's the old double glazing situation in the UK that happened years ago. Negotiating, bartering on prices. They come in with £20,000 and within 20 minutes you're down to £10,000. Why don't you just give me the best price in the first place? Do you know what I mean? So as a consumer, that makes me feel bad, and it makes me feel that whoever I'm dealing with is not a genuine company, So that's my thoughts on it. I thought I'd put that out. Like I said, I'm just finishing the day here now. We've got some great stock in Cleveland again, good stock in Detroit. Also, what I would say, coming into Christmas, coming to the end of the year, it is kind of sometimes a good time because a lot of the suppliers, they want to not get rid of their stock, but they want to clear their stock for the year, so they start fresh in January. So sometimes at the end of the year, it is a good time for me to go back to them and say, maybe get an extra $1,000 or $2,000 off the price. So let's, if you are looking, it's a good time to buy. We've got some good stock in Cleveland, good stock in Detroit. We've got our Canton inventory, which is doing really well. We've got, I think, one slot left on the wait list, so that's gone really well. Again, 70 and 80% mortgages available, which is fantastic. Low cash in. So yeah, listen, you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk soon.